Saudi Arabia has announced the restoration of the East-West pipeline, signaling a critical stabilization in regional energy flows following severe disruptions. This move, executed after the recent disruption in the Strait of Hormuz, immediately alleviates significant pressure on regional markets, demonstrating Riyadh's capacity to manage complex energy logistics even amidst ongoing geopolitical volatility. The successful restoration of the pipeline is not merely a technical achievement, it is a powerful geopolitical signal that major energy arteries remain operational, even when confronted by external pressures. The recovery of Manifa output, a key indicator of regional supply, confirms that the flow of vital resources is being re-established, which has immediate ramifications for stability across the Middle East. The implications extend beyond immediate supply concerns. This action underscores the strategic importance of maintaining these infrastructure links for regional security and economic viability. The successful operation of this pipeline mitigates the risk of cascading shortages that could have destabilized the entire energy landscape, particularly for nations heavily reliant on these overland routes. Analysts are closely watching how this operational success will influence future negotiations and the overall trajectory of regional power dynamics, assessing whether such infrastructure resilience can buffer against escalating conflict. The ability of Saudi Arabia to execute this complex restoration highlights a determined commitment to maintaining economic lifelines, regardless of the surrounding military tensions. Moving on to the escalating conflict between Israel and Iran, the situation remains intensely volatile with new developments emerging daily. The United States military has officially announced plans to initiate a comprehensive blockade of all maritime traffic attempting to enter and exit Iranian ports and coastal areas, effective starting Monday. This decisive action is a significant escalation in the conflict, moving the confrontation from purely land-based tensions into the maritime domain, directly impacting Iran's access to global trade and vital supplies. This naval measure is designed to exert maximum pressure on Tehran, aiming to cripple its economic lifeline and restrict its ability to maneuver through international shipping lanes. The response from Iran is expected to be forceful, potentially leading to further maritime confrontations and deepening the existing hostilities. International observers are scrutinizing the potential for this blockade to trigger wider regional instability, as it directly challenges established maritime norms and escalates the risk of direct military engagement in contested waters. The implications for global shipping and the stability of the Middle East are profound, as this action forces a direct confrontation between global powers and regional actors over control of vital sea lanes. Simultaneously, the global energy market is reacting sharply to these escalating tensions. Oil prices have surged, climbing back above the $100 threshold, directly correlated with the failure of recent peace negotiations and the heightened risk of a deeper global energy crisis. The breakdown of diplomatic efforts over the weekend has injected profound uncertainty into the market, fueling fears that the current geopolitical standoff could rapidly translate into a severe supply crunch. As the conflict intensifies and supply routes face potential disruption, the vulnerability of global energy systems becomes starkly apparent. Nations dependent on stable energy supplies are now bracing for a period of severe scarcity, which carries the risk of triggering widespread economic instability and social unrest. The failure of diplomatic channels has demonstrated the fragility of international cooperation in managing these high-stakes conflicts, pushing the world closer to a scenario where energy security becomes inextricably linked to military outcomes. The volatility in the oil market reflects the tangible, immediate threat posed by these geopolitical maneuvers to global economic stability. Turning our focus to Asia, the region is bracing for severe gas supply shortages following the collapse of the recent US-Iran talks. Asian buyers are urgently preparing contingency plans to manage potential deficits in natural gas supplies, a situation compounded by the ongoing instability in the Middle East. The collapse of diplomatic efforts has introduced a massive uncertainty into the supply chain, threatening industrial operations and energy security across the continent. Nations heavily reliant on imported gas are now facing the immediate challenge of securing alternative supplies and managing potential price spikes. This situation demands immediate strategic adjustments from Asian governments and energy corporations, as they attempt to navigate a rapidly deteriorating geopolitical environment. The anticipated shortages are not theoretical, they represent a tangible threat to industrial output and consumer stability, forcing an urgent reassessment of energy policies and international cooperation mechanisms to prevent a catastrophic energy crisis on the continent. In the context of internal political and diplomatic friction within India, the situation in Ladakh continues to reflect deep-seated divisions, as activist Sonam Wangchuk has warned about the deepening of divisions due to stalled talks with the central government. Wangchuk highlights the growing disillusionment among local communities regarding the pace and effectiveness of dialogue, emphasizing that the lack of a clear timeline for the next round of talks with the center is exacerbating existing tensions. This situation reflects a broader challenge in managing regional demands and ensuring equitable development, where the absence of clear political consensus translates directly into social and political friction on the ground. The stalled negotiations underscore the difficulty in bridging ideological and developmental gaps between regional aspirations and central government policy, creating a precarious environment where trust is eroding with every passing day. The lack of a defined path forward for these critical discussions signals a persistent challenge in achieving unified regional governance and addressing local concerns effectively. In other critical developments concerning the Israel-Iran conflict, Israel has taken a significant step in its strategic positioning by approving the appointment of a new chief for its intelligence agency. Roman Goffman is slated to begin his tenure in June 2026, succeeding the current director, David Barnea. This high-level appointment signals a strategic recalibration within Israeli security apparatus, indicating a shift in priorities and operational focus for the agency in the face of ongoing regional threats. Such changes in leadership often reflect evolving strategic assessments regarding the threat landscape and the necessary adjustments in intelligence gathering and operational strategy. This move underscores the continuous high-stakes nature of the security environment and the imperative for Israel to maintain cutting-edge intelligence capabilities to navigate complex geopolitical challenges. Meanwhile, the Iranian leadership is navigating a period of solemn reflection. Moshe Margarita attended a mourning ceremony for the late Iranian leader Ayatollah Khamenei, organized by the Iranian embassy on Sunday, April 12, marking the 40th day of his passing, known as Chehalim. This ceremony underscores the profound sense of loss felt by the Iranian people and the international community regarding the passing of a pivotal figure in the nation's history and political trajectory. Such gestures reflect the deep emotional and political weight attached to the leadership and the ongoing internal and external struggles facing Iran. The mourning process highlights the complex interplay between personal loss, political legacy, and the ongoing geopolitical pressures exerted upon the nation. The broader context of the Israel-Iran war continues to unfold, with ongoing military and diplomatic exchanges dominating the news cycle. The conflict remains a flashpoint for international attention, with military actions and diplomatic maneuvers defining the current narrative. The strategic objectives of both sides continue to be fiercely debated, and the potential for escalation remains a constant, palpable threat. The unfolding events in the region demand continuous, vigilant monitoring by global powers, as the consequences of this conflict resonate far beyond the immediate borders of the involved nations, affecting global security architecture and energy flows. A stark warning has been issued regarding the maritime standoff in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has released a video detailing the standoff with U.S. warships transiting the strait, confirming the tense atmosphere and the direct confrontation occurring in this vital choke point. This release serves as a stark reminder of the immediate danger inherent in this narrow waterway, where the flow of global energy and maritime commerce is constantly under threat. The video provides an unfiltered look at the high level of tension between the involved parties, emphasizing the fragility of the peace and the constant threat of miscalculation in this critical maritime corridor. This incident underscores the extreme vulnerability of global trade routes to regional conflict and the necessity for heightened de-escalation efforts to prevent catastrophic maritime incidents. Finally, the diplomatic and personal feud between the US and certain religious figures has taken a sharp turn. President Trump has publicly lambasted Pope Leo XIV, extending a long-standing feud over the conflict with Iran by targeting the first American pontiff. This public criticism injects a new layer of personal tension into the geopolitical conflict, suggesting that the conflict is now being viewed through a highly personalized lens by political leaders. The emergence of religious figures as outspoken critics of the US-Israeli war on Iran introduces a new dimension to the conflict, complicating diplomatic efforts and adding an unpredictable element to the already volatile situation. This dynamic highlights how deeply intertwined religious and political narratives are in shaping the perception and management of this protracted regional conflict.